Though summer isn't my favorite season by far, one of my favorite things about it is being able to recommend a bunch of books for you so we can stay inside, away from the bugs, the heat, the summer storms, because my god, there are so many of them, and enjoy some fun, unique sci-fi and fantasy. So yes, today I'll be talking about a bunch of summer book recommendations that I hope to influence you to pick up if you haven't already. But first, if we do decide to step outside for once, we gotta look somewhat put together, I guess. So a big thanks to Louisa, who is sponsoring today's video and is always here to add a little sparkle to my summer. Louisa is a New York-based jewelry brand who sell high-quality pieces that are made to last. Every piece is carbon invisible, made from raw sourcing material. They avoid unnecessary mining and excessive markups. They are the one jewelry brand where the pieces just do not tarnish. They last for so long. I have yet to see a jewelry piece from them even get a single blemish. Even their packaging is used with a recycled material. And they sent over some pieces for me to show you guys today. The first is this pair of earrings called Ash Double. I think the double hoop design is super cute. I'm actually wearing the earrings right now. I do have my ears gauged. So these dangly earrings do still work for me because they're just through my gauge. I also chose this pebble necklace, which is unlike anything that I currently have. I'm actually wearing this necklace today. It is so pretty. It is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I actually saw it on the website and I was like, ooh, that's gonna be a really small stone, but it's actually not. It's freaking huge. Next is this fire pendant, which goes with honestly any outfit. I think the fire symbol is super, super cool. I like how the gold is kind of rough and raw looking, which makes it look kind of edgy, which, I mean, it fits my personality, I think. Finally, I have a bracelet here called Drew, and when I first saw it, I thought, wow, that looks small, but thankfully you can like open it and fit it around your wrist easier. It's super elegant, comfortable for me personally. It's also water resistant, so you don't have to like worry about it getting wet when you like do the dishes or something, which is very nice. And I just really love Louisa's style. I think their designs are super wearable with literally anything, even as someone who wears just t-shirts and leggings most of the time. You can use my code HollyHearts20 and that will save you 20% off your order. Such a good deal. They offer free and fast US shipping and returns and affordable worldwide shipping. So go check them out. Go get your summer jewelry collection started. All right, so back to this list. The first book that I recommend that you pick up this summer is Rumination. This is a book that fed my epic fantasy loving soul. This is a full-length League of Legends novel, which is a very popular video game, but you can know absolutely nothing about League of Legends and still read and enjoy this. Basically, just view it as a standalone fantasy. That's how I went into it. So we follow a couple characters here. We have Callista, who is a warrior general, and Vigo, who is her uncle. We see him coronated as king, and Callista advises him. And we are thrown into this big battle at the start of the novel. Vigo's army wins, but at the feast where they are celebrating, an assassin appears, strikes the queen, so Vigo's wife, with this magical dagger where she becomes extremely ill. So Callista is tasked to travel the seas and search the islands for a cure, which is honestly the biggest reason why I recommend this for summer because of the setting. I loved this book. It was one of my favorite reads from last year, which was completely unexpected, like a League of Legends novel, like no way. I believe the audiobook is a full cast too, so if you have the chance to listen to it, I'd give that a try. It's honestly such a fun book to read. It's very easy. The writing is high quality. I do hope we possibly get a sequel to extend one of the storylines that I really liked, but yeah, let me know if you plan to pick this one up. So up next, you're probably used to be only reading and recommending fantasy, that this next book is going to throw you in for a loop. But I have a thriller that I read last year that I really enjoyed, and I think it's such a great summer read, and that is The Vicious Circle. This is a cult mystery that takes place at this wellness center in the middle of the jungle. Our main character, Svita, is a former model living in New York who is married to a man whose family really doesn't like her, which is really frustrating to witness. Suddenly, Svita gets informed that her estranged uncle has died and has left her with a $180 million inheritance. Plus, this huge manor house compound that's in the middle of the Guatemala jungle, which she has to travel to for his funeral and to sign papers. But her uncle had a wife who's very strange, and she seems to have taken over his estate. So things are very weird. This book really surprised me. It's a dark mystery where basically the characters are locked inside this place surrounded by foliage and bugs and exotic animals, a scary religious leader that reminded me of Joseph Seed from Far Cry 5. If you ever played that video game, it's very, very similar. If you love thrillers, I would recommend checking this one out, and I think it's a great one to read over the summer as it has quite the hot summer setting. All right, so let's get back to our regular programming, fantasy. I have The Fairy Bargain of Prospect Hill. This is a good choice for a book if you are looking for something cottagecore, something cozy that involves fairies. It takes place in the early 1900s and follows two women whose grandfather bargained with a fairy creature for the land that this family has owned forever. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. I think that's enough to entice you, and I don't want to ruin too many elements about this book, but it is rather slow, though I find that that's just how this author writes, as I've read a couple books by her now. Very slow plot that is just following the lives of running an orchard and some problems they run into, so it's not for everyone. And this is definitely another one of those like slice of life kind of stories that explores how far these characters are willing to go to ensure that they have happiness and safety for their family. It's a story that's not going to take a ton of brain power, and you get to enjoy the beautiful and vivid scenery and writing. It actually involves a lot of small and nuanced moments with these women that we follow. Honestly, I'd recommend this to anyone who enjoys Anne of Green Gables. So if you're looking for that vibe, that aesthetic, then give this a try. Also, this cover just screams spring/summer in general, and it's really pretty in person. Up next, if you haven't read this book, because I feel like a lot of you have, but I'm going to recommend it for summer anyways, The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. Not only is this a great summer read because of the setting on the ocean, with it being about pirates, I highly recommend this book, especially to people who are parents. Though I am a parent to cats and not humans, I can wholeheartedly see how parents would relate to this, as it's a story about how women's stories don't have to end after they have children. So our main character, who is a former ship captain, gets the band back together again, so to speak, for one last adventure. One of my favorite tropes, after having the birth of her daughter. Now, aside from the incredible world building and vivid imagery that this author pounded into the beginning, I want you to keep in mind this is a very character-driven book. It is truly the main character story. The focus is on her. So if you're looking for a more narrative-based or plot-driven, you won't find it here. Though I loved the story too. We have a ragtag team of pirates, which was very found family. It was super adorable, with like very distinct and deep characters. And what's great is if you do decide to pick this up for summer, it does kind of read like a standalone book, but there will be others in the series, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most, because I'm very attached to these characters, and I really want to see more adventures with them. Daughters of IzDahar. This is a book that I almost devoured in a single day. I really, really enjoyed it, and it was a breeze to read. It's an Egyptian-inspired fantasy. I feel like we're getting a lot of those this year, and I am so happy about that. So in this, we have a dual POV. The first one is a woman being forced into an arranged marriage with a man she doesn't love. All she wants from him is his permission, which unfortunately is a thing in this world. Women need to ask permission to pretty much do anything. She really wants to go to this weaving academy where she can master her abilities with water and join the female division in the military. So there's elemental magic similar to Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was so fun. And the man she's married to has a secret lover. And that secret lover is, of course, our second POV. And she doesn't want to be a concubine. She's an earth weaver, but she's kind of scared of her abilities. And the end of this book is such a huge, windy roller coaster, and I'm really looking forward to reading book 2 to see how this story shapes even more. It was a really surprising read for me because I typically hate reading stories about women who have like no rights in a fantasy kind of world, but this made it interesting and really enjoyable. Okay, so far in this video, I've tried to not mention books that I've mentioned in previous summer book recommendations video, but this one is going to be a repeater, and that is Son of the Storm. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this one in last year's summer book recs, but I'm mentioning it again because the cover to its sequel, boom, has gotten me more hyped than ever, and now I need to talk about it. So this is a West African pre-colonial fantasy that I adored so much. It is a very complex fantasy. In fact, it inspired a video that I'm hoping to come out soon. recommending books to fantasy veterans. It's quite a hands-on book, and I loved it for that. It's overwhelmingly ambitious. If you're looking for a new world to scour every inch of, to read about some of the most detailed history I've ever read in a novel, you'll find that here. The sequel is coming out in November, so I think it's the perfect time to pick it up if you haven't. So in this world, the darker your skin tone, the better you are received in society. So it pulls in some like West African lore and some historical events, but it's fictionized. We have characters that are low brown, high brown, even high black, which is the highest prestige, which I found to be a really interesting concept. And then there are yellow skins, which haven't been seen in hundreds of years, and the action and drama really starts when it seems like one has infiltrated the mainland. It causes immense chaos. It has the magic is forbidden trope. If you're tired of reading like recycled fantasy, Son of the Storm is something different and definitely worth checking out. All right, so those are all of my must-read books for the season of summer. Let me know in the comments some books that you think would make great reads. Of course, I'm always looking for some good new sci-fi and fantasy. Also, do not forget to check out Anna Louisa and their special offer for this summer. Use code HollyHearts20 and get 20% off of your order. All right, until we meet again, happy reading.